Welcome back, guys, to the Queen of TV channel. Now, some quick things before we get into our intro. Please watch the video to the very end. Do not forget to like, comment, subscribe. There will be cursing and profanity. If that's not your cup of tea, the show's not for you. I'll be giving my honest opinion on the episode as a whole and the season as a whole. Without further ado, let's get into our intro. Welcome, everyone. I'm your host, the Queen herself, and you are the Prince and Princesses. You are either subscribers or you are viewers. Either way, welcome. Today we are looking at H2O Season 2, Episode 10, Missing the Boat. I believe that is the name of it. Hold up. Yes, Missing the Boat. That is the name of the episode. We start off this episode with Cleo's family. I'm going to let y'all know right now, this episode at the very end started raising up my anxiety, and I'm starting to calm down a little bit, but this episode is also like episode 6. It is very anxiety inducing for me a little bit. But not because of personal reasons, but because of what's going on, and I know what's happening at the end with Lewis. So maybe it is something personal. But I digress for right now. We'll get to that in my review. Kim is letting her dad know about her exam grades, and she did very good. Cleo apparently is being very off-putting and doesn't want to talk about hers, and so she leaves, leaving her dad suspicious. In another scene, they do get a call from her teacher that lets them know that Cleo actually failed biology. At the Juice Net Cafe, where we see Cleo go, Emma and Ricky show up, and they are talking about their grades, and Cleo obviously gets upset and snaps on them and decides to leave. We see in the next scene with them and Cleo lets them know that she failed biology, and the reason why she failed is not because she was having a bad day, but because she didn't have Lewis there to help study with her, which makes sense. We'll get to that in the review. When she was leaving the Juice Net Cafe, she ran into Lewis, who picked up on the fact that she must have failed, and he said that if she needs him to study, he is here, and she said she will keep that in mind. She did not say yes, and she did not say no, but we do see in another scene which kickstarts what's going on in this episode, which I think missing the boat is a reference to missing the point. So basically, this is about Lewis missing the point about Charlotte. He's not connecting. So this is what this is about, in my opinion. And we'll get more into that later on. Well, this is because Lewis decides that he is going to study for the biology exam anyway so he can help Cleo. Charlotte shows up and tells him it's a beautiful day and that he should take her on his boat. He says that he can't because he's going to help Cleo with her studies. Charlotte is upset with this and decides to leave. Everything fully comes ahead in the next scene where we see that Cleo's dad's confronting her about failing biology and says that a tutor has been found for her to help her. He's thinking that maybe she's spending too much time with Emma and Ricky and that she should be focusing more on studying. That new tutor turns out to be Charlotte because Cleo thinks that it is Lewis at first. Charlotte is going over the work with Cleo repeatedly and decides that instead of actually helping her study and helping her understand it in a way where Cleo knows what she's reading about and studying, she decides to give her a bunch of assignment homework to read over, to write, and to analyze herself, which will take Cleo the whole weekend. Cleo is upset about this, but Charlotte says that if Cleo wants to pass, she would want to do this. Once that Charlotte has done this, she takes this opportunity to go to Lewis the next day. Charlotte decides that Now that she's gotten Cleo out of the way, she's going to convince and manipulate Lewis in a way to where he feels a lot more safe and secure with her than he does with Cleo and the girls. It works, and she's able to convince him to go to the beach with her, but he's still waiting on Cleo to call him. So Charlotte decides to draw pictures of Lewis, which ends up being a mistake on her point. When Lewis does sit next to her and is eating the food that she brought for a picnic, she brings up the fact that it's nice that it's just the two of them, and he says yeah, and he agrees that they should probably do this next time. So we see the manipulation continuously working because Lewis obviously is not aware that he's being manipulated. So Charlotte decides to show him some artwork of Mako Island. Spoiler alert, this artwork was made by Gracie. Her last name is Washford. I don't know if I mentioned this before in another episode back in season 1, but Gracie is Charlotte's grandmother. That means the locket over Cleo's neck used to belong to Gracie. So this is why Charlotte is an artist. She learned it from her grandmother. This is why she sees Lewis the way that she does. This is one of the issues I have with Charlotte. Apparently, this is the artwork that she's showing him. It was made from Gracie, and it is of Mako Island. Why the hell did Gracie draw Mako Island? I will never know. But Charlotte shows Lewis, and she's able to convince Lewis, shockingly, to take her to Mako Island. He agrees. He hesitated at first, but he decides to. Now, Emma and Ricky did go over there to see Cleo. And we could see that Cleo has not been getting no sleep, and she's been up all night studying. She has not been outside one time. She's been cooped up in the house doing nothing but studying. Her dad in a different scene says that he is proud of her, that she's taken the initiative to actually try to learn and study. And we'll get more into that in my review because I fucking hate when parents do this to their kids. But Charlotte does go over there late that night, and Cleo is in the bathtub asleep. Poor fucking girl has not gotten no rest. That to the point where she slept in the bathtub, fell asleep reading a book of all things. Charlotte knocks on the door. Dom answers the door. He tells Charlotte it's okay for her to go up. Charlotte goes up in Cleo's room. Cleo wakes up and tells her that she's early. Charlotte told her to take her time, and Cleo told her to stay right there. She'll be out in a second. We can hear her in the background blow drying her tail off. Well, Charlotte decides to look through Cleo's room. She's touching all of Cleo's trophies. She's looking at a picture of Cleo, Emma, and Ricky together. She puts on this, like, I don't know, somewhat, what's the word for it? I'm trying to think the word for it. But she doesn't smile. She gets like a small, like, little smile on her face. She's curious, basically, of the three of them. So she is curious and suspicious. She's seeing this picture. She's seeing how close the three of these girls are. She also sees that Cleo's locket is on her nightstand. She decides to pick it up. She likes the locket and it decides that she's going to try to put it over her neck. She gets caught by Cleo, who asks her what she's doing, and Charlotte tries to save face and say that it was a pretty locket, and she's like, it's the same as um Emma and Ricky's, and Cleo says they got it from the same place. Cleo shows her the work, and Charlotte says everything looks fine. Cleo thinks she's done, but Charlotte tells her she's not because Charlotte needs to keep Cleo busy so she can go to Mako Island with Lewis. Leah. Out. Out. No, get out. I need to take it one time. No, you don't. Get yes, out. I do. Hold on. Stroke. Stroke. From here. What? Doing? God blow her nose. God. I'm sorry about that. It's my brother trying to get some medicine to blow his nose. He already took that medication. He's gonna end up getting sick. My mom told me not to give it to him again. Um, but back to the episode. So Charlotte gives Cleo more work. She tries to tell Cleo in a manipulative way that, again, because like she did earlier, she tries to tell Cleo that how better she'll feel if she passed. Well, Charlotte leaves and she forgets her bag that has all the drawings of Lewis in it, and these drawings of him are ugly as fuck. But Cleo sees the real reason why Charlotte was helping her. Charlotte asked Cleo if it was going to be a problem, if there was a problem, and she says no, everything was clear. So she goes to Mako to tell Emma and Ricky, who are not really taking Cleo seriously, um, that maybe Cleo is all in her head, maybe she's being jealous, or whatever the case. They take it serious when she mentions the locket, and we're gonna talk about that because I feel like Lewis ain't the only one that's missing the point, basically. So they go and tell Lewis that Charlotte is getting with him to get close to them because obviously Cleo has moved away from the Charlotte is manipulating them to get, well, her and Lewis so she could try to date Lewis, because obviously it's been made clear that Lewis and her are friends and that she doesn't want anything to do with him. So Cleo, like Emma was originally, thinks it's because of the secret. Lewis obviously gets upset because he says that maybe it's because Charlotte likes him. That could be taken out of context, that he has feelings for her, but that ain't the case. Um, Lewis apparently gets upset with them and tells him to stop bossing him around because Charlotte wants to go to Mako Island, and that's exactly what he's going to do. He's going to take her to Mako Island. Because, like I said, the manipulation. Trying to make herself look better than the girls. Lewis is being naively stupid. He does what he said he was going to do, and the girls follow them and see that he actually did what he said he was going to do. He thinks that Charlotte does not have any ulterior motives, that she just wants to look around. She doesn't actually want to descend further onto the island. That's a lie. She starts walking off and he tries to stop her. She ends up sitting next to the rock where he is, and she tries to sit closer to him, but he tries to tell her that they are just friends because she does have an ulterior motive. Cleo not being able, and to her not being able to see them, is trying to get closer to see what they're doing because she probably can't hear them. She ends up falling into the water where Charlotte hears it, and she looks around, and before she sees that Cleo's a mermaid, Lewis tries to stop Charlotte, and Charlotte misunderstands the situation and ends up kissing Lewis, thus starting a forced romantic relationship between the two of them, which Lewis is taking, well, from the angle of how it looks, uh there's two things on why Lewis did not push her away, and we'll get to that in the review. Cleo sees it, and obviously she's hurt. She eventually goes home, and after taking her exam, and her dad tells her that he's so proud of her exam and that she got a good mark and that maybe she should thank Charlotte. Obviously, he does not know what Charlotte's done. So Cleo obviously gets mad and walks off, and her dad wonders if maybe he said something that he shouldn't have. Cleo goes to the Juice Net Cafe where she ends up running into Lewis. Lewis wants to explain how things actually were out there and that they weren't how they looked. Cleo obviously is not going to take that into account. She says he looks how it looked and that there was nothing going between them and that he can do whatever he wants. He is obviously hurt by this because the way that it looks was not his intention, but it's that situation where you fuck around and you find out. And he had to find the hard way not to be trusting of somebody that seems nice in his opinion. Um So this is worse than the Dr. Denham situation. He fell for this manipulation crap again. This time he knew the situation, but he did not know the situation would go that far. But Charlotte shows up and she asks about Cleo's marking, and he asked Cleo to thank her. And I try to look at that this episode again at the end to see what if Lewis said anything, because I believe that in this episode Lewis tried to say that wasn't necessary for her to do that, but Cleo went ahead and thanked her anyway, and then her and Lewis left. And Charlotte was all happy and excited and could not read Lewis's face that Lewis was not happy and that he was upset. They end up leaving, and Emma and Ricky try to tell Cleo that obviously he isn't happy, and that even if he is, it's not gonna last. Cleo doesn't care. She says that she wants to celebrate her marking, and the episode ends there. So that bit of anxiety calmed down in me. So let's talk about this. Okay, I lied. It's coming back a little bit because of what I'm about to talk about. This is a grade A class domestic violence issue. And I would know because I've experienced it. Not towards me, but at one point it was, and it happened the one time, but it was towards someone else that I am close to, and I'm not going to express more than that. When you manipulate someone into being so comfortable with you and make them think that you genuinely care about them and that you have no ulterior motive until you get what you want, and then after that you show your true colors. This is Charlotte. This is Charlotte. And I have said this countless and countless of times. And it does not matter how many videos get posted, know how many clips get posted, but there are still people that seem to justify her behavior and shit on Cleo, right? And it takes a lot, right? Because back then I could get mad easily. But it takes a lot to piss me the fuck off. And it pisses me off that everyone acts like this behavior of Charlotte is absolutely normal. That it's okay, that it's cute, and that it is justified that she can manipulate two people all because somebody doesn't either fucking likes her or in this case reads a fucking plan journal. That's not a diary. And then I have to sit here and think, why is so many damn people justifying this negative, toxic behavior in this one character? It can't be because y'all like the actress. It can't be that. And that y'all feel sorry for her for getting a lot of hate for this. I feel sorry for her that she played a character this despicable. And no matter how many times people try to tell me, I will never in my mind say that Sophie is worse than Charlotte, because she isn't worse than Charlotte. Because at least Sophie does not fake who she is. She's not a liar. She's not a pretender. You know who the fuck Sophie is. We know how Sophie is. We understand the type of person that Sophie is. Charlotte's the one that's being fake. She's the one that's pretending to be something she's not. And yes, they both are abusive. Sophie towards her brother Will in season 3, and Charlotte against Lewis. But unlike Sophie, Charlotte is given fucking passes for doing her mistreatment towards Cleo and Lewis from a lot of people. And it has made me realize that society has not come far at all. We still will make excuses for things that we should not make excuses for. Just because somebody reads a fucking diary and just because somebody does not like you does not give you justification to harass, stalk, manipulate, lie, and abuse an individual and bully somebody and chase after a man that clearly does not want to be in a relationship with you. We clearly have not learned from that. And most of the fucking people that sit here justifying this behavior are adults. It's not the new generation. It ain't the kids. It's adults. And it's people that's well past the age of 21, but no younger than 24. These people are in their 20s, their late 20s, and their 30s. And it don't make no damn sense that y'all can look at two damn 17-year-olds, no, three 17-year-olds, and say that this behavior is valid. And it could be all because y'all think it's a fucking kid show, so y'all shouldn't take certain things like this seriously. But yet, y'all want these type of situations to be taken seriously in real life. How the hell that can be? How can y'all sit here and say we should take it seriously in real life, but y'all can't take it seriously when it is portrayed to you in the media? I don't care what the hell this show is. I don't care what demographic this show is supposed to be for. Because it has so much adult stuff in it, it can't be for no kids. It's more watched by adults than it is regular preteen and teenagers. But in this situation, it is clear and obvious there is no reason for anybody to dislike Cleo in this episode. She is the only one in this episode that's out here looking pretty. But I will guarantee you that you can look at the fucking comment sections on these videos and people will sit here and act like nothing is the problem. You have some people in there that will sit there in the comment sections and say that Charlotte did not help Cleo like she's supposed to, but not talk about the manipulation that Charlotte's doing. But I am. And I definitely am in that damn Charlotte video. And I don't care what Charlotte apologist person get mad about it. Because you're not going to sit here and justify this behavior to me. You're not. And look, this is not me trying to be a role model. This is not me trying to educate nobody. Because let me tell you something. I got a past. I got things I've done I'm not proud of and I'm ashamed of. And that I will not completely and utterly share with y'all. But I will share this one thing. I can talk about the situation because I have a personal experience with the situation. So of course I'm mad about it. Of course I'm going to be pressed about the situation because I've witnessed it at an age as a child that I shouldn't have not witnessed this. I was in elementary school when I had to have a run-in with domestic violence. And no, it did not have a nice, profound effect. And no, I have not gotten over it. And probably never will. But in this situation, Charlotte has decided that she's going to manipulate Lewis in a way that makes him feel more comfortable with her and that shows that she cares more about his likes and his wants than his friends do. And like I said, it works because Lewis gets upset. And I have seen comments where people said they're glad that Lewis is finally standing up to the girls because they're always bossing him around. Two things can be true at one time. Yes, the girls can be bossy to Lewis. Two, the girls are right that Charlotte getting close to Lewis will get close to their secret. Because anybody that gets close to Lewis will get close to the secret. Hands down. There is no lying about that. Two things can be true at one time. And then there's a third thing that can be true. Charlotte is not who Lewis thought she was. And that was the truth. Lewis has now proven himself untrustworthy by how he reacted in this episode. I do not know why Lewis trusted that Charlotte did not have an ulterior motive. I do not understand that. Considering we have seen episodes where it's obvious that he has been uncomfortable with her and she has been romantically advanced towards him. And he has shown disgust with that. He apparently, like I had previously said in his communication, he is holding things back that he has not healthily talked about. This was not the time and place for him to stand up for himself because there was nothing for him to be upset about. No, he should have not taken Charlotte to Mako Island. Yes, he should have been mad at Charlotte for sitting there manipulating Cleo. Him looking at it as that maybe that Charlotte did this because she liked him. That's why she tried to get close to him. Is him missing the point. The point is she used Cleo's bad grade as a way to manipulate the situation into him actually spending time with her. And he knows for a fact that she has a romantic interest in him and he does not have a romantic interest in her. Now, let's talk about the kiss. She kissed him and he did not pull away. I've seen some people talk about this. They said that clearly he must like her. He sat there and let her kiss him. That's down to two things. One, complete and utter shock. When somebody kisses you, you don't react automatically. You don't. Everybody's different. There might be a few people that try to react to that and say, no, get the hell up off of me. That's not the case with every single person. Everybody has had that person that has kissed them and they have not taken it the right way. They will stand there in complete shock. And the second reason why he did not pull away when she kissed him, it wasn't not because of the fact, not just because he was in shock, but because a small part of him, not saying he has feelings for her, a small part of him did care about her, but not in such a romantic way. More like that he cared about her as a person, like a friend in certain sorts. So that when she kissed him, he let her kiss. He didn't kiss her back. He let her kiss him. But it's obvious he didn't feel a spark. So in this case, he was testing the waters. He did not feel anything for her, which is evident when we continue to see the show going forward. He still has feelings for Cleo. He does, for a time, have a bit of feelings for Charlotte, where he does start liking her once they date, but he's not in love with her, because you can be in love with someone and like someone else at the same time. But when you're in love with someone, it's that person's more important. So he's still in love with Cleo. He likes Charlotte a little bit. So that's why he let her do that, is because he does care for her a little bit. Lewis feels horrible in this episode. Matter of fact, Lewis is made to look horrible in this episode. Not the very beginning, but at the end of it. Because not only did he take her out to Mako Island, but that cost his trust to be broken within his relationship with Emma, Cleo, and Ricky. Because he literally did something that crossed the line. This is not how it was in episode 1. Not in episode 1, but in episode 8 of season 1, where he took Dr. Denham that sample. It was an accident. This is not an accident. He did this on purpose. So there is no justification or any excuse that can be given. He broke that trust. When I originally had watched this, Lewis had upsetted me. And I got mad at him. Now that I'm sitting here thinking about it, and I had set on the idea of the episode, I realized that Lewis generally believed that Charlotte was just trying to be friends with him and that he did like her a little bit, but he wasn't going to pursue her because he still wanted to be with Cleo. and that he put a lot of trust in her, and he thought that she didn't have any ulterior motives and that they were going to just be friends. He ended up realizing that wasn't the case. So now he's in a situation where he doesn't look like a trustworthy friend. So now Lewis has to build back this trust, not only with Emma and Ricky, but more so Cleo, because now Charlotte has gotten what she wanted. Cleo and Lewis' friendship has been severed. They're now, not only are they not close romantically, but now as friends, they're no longer close. So now Lewis has a way to try to fix that. But let me know what you guys think. Do you see this as domestic abuse? Do you guys feel like Charlotte was wrong in what she did? Do you think that Lewis intentionally took her out there to start a relationship, or do you think that Lewis got the wrong idea? And do you think it's exactly what I think this episode is, that missing the boat means that missing the point, and the point that Lewis was missing is that Charlotte is a danger and that he should not be completely trusting of her? But this video is long enough. Let me know what you guys think. Without further ado, that's all I got for you guys. Have a blessed day. Have a wonderful day. And if no one told you this today, I'm telling you, I love you guys. Despite at times I need to quit reading the comment sections, but I know I'm not. Things that people say will piss me off. I still love you guys regardless. Like, we all human. We all are not going to see things the same way. We all going to agree or disagree. But it is what it is. Because you already know this is the last time we see each other. So until then, bye, guys.